I passed the ISACA's Advanced AI Security Management exam, and honestly, it wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. In this video, I'll share with you exactly how I studied for the exam, what worked for me and what didn't work, and what to expect on exam day. I started studying for the exam in the last week of February, and I took the exam on the 11th of April. So that's about 7 weeks of preparation. My routine was very simple. I studied for about 1.5 hours, 5 times a week. I missed a few days when I had the flu, but basically, I studied for an hour and a half, 5 days a week. For me, short, consistent studying mattered more than long study hours. I personally cannot study for a long time. I only used ISACA's official study materials to prepare for the exam. I purchased the AAISM online review course and the question, answer and explanation database from ISACA. The database had about 210 plus questions, and it also had games, flashcards, crosswords that you could use to study. I didn't use any of the games or flashcards to study. I tried to use them, but I didn't enjoy studying with them, so I just stopped to practicing all the review questions in the database. I went through all the questions multiple times until I consistently scored 98% whenever I answered any of the questions. The exam tests how well you understand concepts and how you can apply these concepts in real world situations. So memorizing is not going to be helpful. I took the exam at home using my personal computer. The exam has 90 questions and you have to answer all of them in 2.5 hours. I was able to answer all the exam questions in about 2 hours. I had roughly about 28 questions that I had flagged to review after that, so I spent the remaining time reviewing those questions. For me, there were no surprises in any of the questions. There was just one question that I didn't really know what the answer would be, so I just guessed. On a scale of 1 to 10 for difficulty, I'll say the exam is about 7. It's not easy, it's manageable. That said, I have both the CISSP and CISA certifications, so that background does help. If you'll be taking the exam at home, you need to pay attention to this part. You'll need to download the secure browser. I recommend downloading it and taking the mock exam before your exam day. This will ensure that you're prepared and your device is adequately prepared for the exam. If you're using a laptop, you cannot connect an additional monitor to your laptop. And if you're using a desktop, you can only have one monitor. There will be some security checks at the start before you start your exam, and these are the things that will be checked. Additional programs that may be running on your PC, like browsers, games, messaging apps, will have to be stopped. There's a proctoring process before you start the exam. This process is actually very, very strict. It took about 30 minutes of inspection before I was able to start the exam. I had to scan my entire room from ceiling to the floor and all walls. I also had to scan my work area, my wrists, the back of my ears. I believe they wanted to make sure I wasn't using any earpieces and I didn't have like any smartwatch on. You will need to make sure your environment is clear, free of clutter and anything that may seem like you're trying to compromise the exam process. Registering for the exam was pretty straightforward. You need a government issued ID, and you have to ensure that the name that you use to register for the exam is the same name that is on your government issued ID. I had that issue because I didn't include my middle name when I was registering for the exam. So I had to contact ISACA's customer support to update the name that I used to register. I think it took about 3 or 4 days before they responded to me. But once they responded, they were able to sort it out on that same day. If you're planning to take the AAISM exam, I'd recommend sticking to ISACA's official study materials. They're pretty on the expensive side, but I found that they were useful and they were enough for me to prepare for the exam. If you're thinking of taking the AAISM exam, drop a comment with any questions you may have, and if you've already taken the exam, share your experience in the comments. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe to CyberSafeByDami. I'll see you in my next video.